Good morning. Good morning. This is Monday Fun Day, and this is Monday Morning Mindset. And I'm outside again on this beautiful, beautiful day because it's so beautiful. And in our country, we don't get many of these days, or as many as some places in the world. Anyway, this is Monday Morning Mindset. And what is mindset? And why does it matter? So, mindset is a combination of your thoughts and your feelings that affect your actions, that ultimately affect everything that you do in your life. And so, it's critically important. And today, our oil is AromaSiez. And this is an absolutely gorgeous oil that I use so often. It's part of the raindrop technique, and it's most of us will use it for like things like muscle relaxation. But what we're interested in here is the emotional aspect of AromaSiez. And so let's take a drop of it. And AromaSiez is a very, very beautiful blend that actually, oh my goodness, I love this fragrance that helps you to get out of limitation, that helps you to get out of, well, aloneness. Have you ever felt alone? Have you ever felt like you were the only one? Have you ever felt like, you're going through something and you're alone? And so that causes you to be inconsistent in showing up for yourself and for others. And it also causes you to um, look at the limitation instead of looking at the possibilities. And so, this whole aspect of being able to look at possibility instead of looking at limitation and not feeling alone, but rather feeling supported, AromaSeez helps us in that way emotionally. And so often I find in life that I in the past, I've looked at the limitation rather than the possibility. And I've instead of looking at what's possible, I look at all the difficulties. And so I don't like that feeling. I don't know about you. I don't like that feeling. It's so much better to actually be able to look at the possibility rather than the limitation, and spend time thinking about what I can do rather than spending time thinking about what I can't do. And so AromaSeez is a beautiful oil that I love to inhale and experience the fragrance of. And remember that you're going to get as much or more benefit from the topical application if you do the inhalation first. Oh, and I see a few people are hopping on here to join me live. Great to see you, Lynn. I'm glad that you're here. Wonderful. And so I have a little story that I want to share with you. And so this is a story about a king that he only had one leg and he had one eye. And he was very intelligent and very kind. And so everyone in his kingdom lived a happy and healthy life because of their king. And one day the king was walking through his palace and through the hallway, and he saw the portraits of his ancestors, and he thought that one day his children will walk through the same hallway and remember all their ancestors through these portraits. And yet the king had not yet had his own portrait painted, and that was due to his physical disabilities and limitations. He wasn't sure how the painting would turn out. And so he invited many painters from his and other kingdoms into the court. And the king announced that he wanted a beautiful portrait made of himself to be placed in the palace. And he said that any painter who could carry out this task, he asked them to come forward. And he said that they would be rewarded based on how the painting turned out. And so all the painters began to think of the king and of his limitations, and thought it was not possible to do a picture of him that would be beautiful and that the king would like and they thought that the king would get angry with their painting and punish them. So one by one, they all started to make excuses and politely declined to do the painting for the king. And there was one painter who raised his hand and he said, "I will make a very beautiful portrait of you for you." And the king gave him permission, and the painter started drawing the portrait. He used many paints and colors, and he took a lot of time. And after a long time, he said that the portrait was ready. And so all of the courtiers and other painters were curious and nervous, thinking, how can this painter make the king's portrait beautiful because of the king's limitations? What if the king didn't like the painting and got angry? And when the painter unveiled and presented the portrait, everyone in the court, including the king, was very surprised. The painter had made a portrait in which the king was sitting on the horse on the one leg side, holding his bow and aiming the arrow with his one eye closed. The king was very pleased to see that the painter had made a beautiful portrait by cleverly hiding the king's disabilities and accenting all his possibilities. The king gave him a great reward. And so this is a beautiful story. I thought this was a beautiful story illustrating how that we get stuck on looking at the limitation instead of looking at the possibility and the potential. And so instead of feeling alone and sometimes limited and not showing up consistently, maybe because of those what we perceive as limitations, I want you to use the oil of AromaSiez this entire week with the inhalation of that. And once you've done the inhalation, you can apply it, if your shoulders are tight or wherever. However, do the inhalation so that you can get the feeling of being able to look at possibilities and potential and get out there and do the very thing that's going to give you the best results. So have an absolutely amazing week. And if this is helpful to you, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit share so that other people can also get more benefit from their oils, from the inhalation. Thank you so much, and you have an amazing week. Bye for now.